Hey, how's it going everyone? Mick Ambrose from AllAboutTech. Welcome back to another video. Today is part 3 of Question Time with Richard Ells. Just before I get into this part, I just wanted to very quickly just go over something that keeps getting commented on, and it's just something that needs to be cleared up. So all over Facebook, all over YouTube comments, people are just saying why the price keep going down, and it's very much an unresearched opinion. If you go to CoinMarketCap, as you can see, Bitcoin dominance, it's at its highest for a very long time. It's at 48.6%, and everywhere is down, like literally everywhere, apart from Tether, because obviously Tether is their own thing. They always stick at $1 pretty much, but every single coin is down. And when you look at, I'm going to take XRP as an example. We're talking about XRP that have really established themselves as one of the most dominant cryptos in the space. Many people like it, many people dislike it. But as you can see, they've been going since before 2014. So they've been going literally 5 years now. And as you can see, it took them nearly 3 years, or it literally took them 3 years to start gaining some movement. This is how long it takes a company to establish themselves. Just because they're a crypto company and the crypto space takes so long doesn't mean that it takes less time to develop the tech, develop the minimum viable proposition to get it out to the end user. And remember, Electroneum's 2 million users are, let's face it, it's mainly not their target audience. Their first target audience is the unbanked, because that's how they're gonna get people using Electroneum, and then it will feed into the more developed nations, etc. as well. And as you can see, Ripple have had that massive moonshoot, and they've gone all the way back down. Any ICO that's come out in the last 6 months will be well under ICO price. And the reason Electroneum isn't so far under its ICO price is because it came out at a good time where there was a run. They hit that all-time high, and then they've retracted since then. Imagine if Electroneum came out after the big run and when we were already on the decline. There would have been no increase in price to the all-time high of 20 cents, and it would have just kept going down and down and down. So that's all I wanted to say in regards to that. Now, I hope you guys enjoy the next part. I really hope you guys enjoy it. And without further ado, let's get into it. Awesome stuff. So moving into the next question. So a lot of education effort is required to educate normal people about ETN. Who will do this? And does the ETN marketing plan include anything to deal with an educational side of things?
Absolutely does, yeah. So we've got 2 or 3 things going on with that. We've got one, we're still in negotiation with some of the mobile operators that we really want to use. Some of them we've already signed deals with, but some of the ones we are in negotiation with is to do with KYC issues, which again, I'm sure we're going to cover at some stage. KYC is know your customer, by the way. All corporates are a little bit fearful of crypto because of the lack of regulation. Mm-hmm. So we're putting a regulatory framework in place to be able to solve that problem. And once we get those in place, then we have got target places on the ground where we want to actually drop in somebody from our company to actually start things. But we've already got users on the ground that are fervent believers in the Electroneum project. So we don't have too many troubles finding those from around the world. You know what the community's like. It's amazing. We've got the best community in the whole of crypto land. It's just fantastic. If we want things done, There are people out there that are incredible. So our plan is, one, we're going to drop into a few places ourselves. So we learn an awful lot of on-the-ground lessons. We'll be dropping in with resources, so sticker packs and things for Windows, Electroneum accepted here. We can actually, a lot of these places don't use stickers. They actually physically paint walls with things. And you'll be surprised at how little it costs to do the deal with those people to say, can we paint the walls? And there's very little regulation with regards to advertising. There's no planning permission required to paint your logo on a wall. You know, it's incredible how much we can do. So all of that is being planned with us dropping into some places, little hotspots that we've got. We've got a chap sitting in that room right there developing this plan to do that. But then at the same time, he's also developing a pack that anybody could download. So there's other places that are outside of our sort of key target areas. Anybody can download the pack and start some work. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be rewarding people for accepting ETN early on. So if you accept ETN in your shop and we drop sticker pack out to you. So first of all, we'll know that they're accepting ETN and taking payments. We'll be able to see that through our system. Then once we know that, then we'll know the legitimate people who've integrated. If they've integrated, we're happy to spend some money to send them a pack. If we send them a pack and they've got lots of branding, they can apply that branding wherever they can. If they then photograph that we can then use back in our social, and they register through we're going to have a platform that shows where everybody is that's accepting ETN. Once they get back onto there, then there's another little reward. So we've got a whole sort of system in process of allowing people to become advocates for the ETN system, and it's a reward-based system. And a lot of the research that we've done into millennial entrepreneurs, these people that are trying to change their lives and pull themselves out of poverty that their family would have been in for generations, ad infinitum, back into goodness knows how many generations. These are the first generation of people that can actually pull themselves out of that poverty, and they can do it using ETN. And so I think that you'll find that we'll have really big, powerful advocates anyway, because we're an enablement currency, and people tend to rave about things that have changed their lives. So I'm quite confident that we'll ignite these little fires effectively, and they'll take off. But we've got proper packs being made to instruct them on what the best process is, and what they can say, what they can't say, etc.
Awesome. Just a quick question going off that. Do you think marketing is quite undervalued in the crypto space at the moment? Do you think people think it's all about the tech when marketing...
Well, there's two things to say. One, I do think that people think it's all about the tech. So that is true. People just massively focus on, my gosh, you've got this newfangled way of doing something on a blockchain that's never been done before. But there's no real thought perhaps sometimes as to what the real world value of that is. But in terms of marketing, what I have seen an awful lot of marketing spent on pumping effectively, spending money to get more speculators to buy a coin, to make the price go up. As far as I can tell, that's the only reason they're doing it. There's no, raving about yourself and ranting about yourself and marketing yourself to the investor community. Maybe the investors would think that's money well spent, I suppose, because they see a price rise, but that certainly isn't good marketing from my perspective. From my perspective, what I want marketing to do is bring on users. That's what we're all about. We're in a user acquisition phase, big time. For someone to own the cryptocurrency space, you need to be having tens of millions of users. And so that's certainly where our marketing budget will lie. But remember that doesn't mean probably conventional ads. You won't see banner ads trying to bring on users and things. It's all about that viral growth and dropping in ecosystem elements that enable the product to be used in the real world. There's from my point of view, we could run loads and loads of adverts, bam, 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 ETN, whoa, logo everywhere. They're all over the place. And that might well drive speculative engagement, but it's not going to drive us to be where we want to be. We may very well see more speculative engagement just through having huge user numbers, but I'm not going to go off and buy marketing to get us to that. I'm going to buy marketing to get the huge user numbers. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. In the whole, you see a lot of advertisements of these brand new cryptos going through ICO and that, and they're spending loads of money on marketing, yet they don't even have their product yet. And if you look at Electroneum, you guys have gained 2 million registered users via viral marketing alone.
Yeah,
just by
that's
viral
exactly
growth.
right. Yeah, we haven't pushed the button on any advertising yet. That is that is just viral growth. We've had a few people, by the way, we might as well cover it in this video. We've had a few people say to us, your miner number and your user number is fake. It isn't. First of all, just to say that those numbers are absolutely real. If they weren't real, I would have made more effort to make sure they correlated better. We've had times when our mobile miners have gone down under 100,000. You know, when people have then gone, why haven't we got so many miners?
Just to clarify on the mobile miner side of thing, was that huge loss not just down to people obviously not needing 10 ET every other day because of the users that are currently on board and not from the unbanked market, but there's a lot of emulation and stuff going on.
Yeah, you will see. It's from time to time you'll see a drop of 2,000 or 3,000 in a day or something, and we're constantly fighting people that are running emulators, writing new ways to not hack into the system, right, but hack into a way of making something that looks like a real person on a real app in a real way. So they're doing things at their end that perfectly legitimately access our system, but they're not real users. So whenever we find a new bunch of those that are doing something clever, we put another barrier in place and we chop those ones out. So you will see drops from that. That hasn't been the monster thing. I think when we've had API issues from time to time, when you've seen the big drops off, if we've had an API issue, the miner stops and people need to log back in and press start mining. So that's when you see the big drops off. People unfortunately aren't auto starting. So if they're away from the phone, they go back, got to restart it, and then you see them drift back on. Mm-hmm. So we've had a few problems like that, but mostly it is what you've said, which is our average user. So bear in mind we've had nigh on 1 million installs. You'll see that tick over in the next month or something. Certainly within the next few weeks, you'll see it tick over to the 1 million installs. Well, as far as I know, that's a completely unfakeable number. Android are very aware of who it is that's installing. So that number shows that there's at least 1 million real users, right? But the reality of it is, from what we see going on, some of those, maybe as much as 10% of those users have been emulated. It's hard to say, but the ones that we chop out are chopped out of that figure as well. So the 2 million figure that you see is 2 million registered users that aren't the people that are emulated. Do you see what I mean? So all the numbers are completely legit. They are the numbers that we've got in our system. And when you see that mobile miner number going up, that's because more people are running it. Now we do have a cloud mining system coming, and I think having glanced at your questions just before the start, I think you have a question on that. So I'll wait for the little video on cloud mining because that's what Apple want people to be able to do. So I'll cover that in just a moment. But so in terms of all of our figures, these are peanuts in the grand scheme of things. 1 million installs sounds really impressive, but actually we should have 10 million, 20 million, 100 million installs once the thing is out there in the real world being used.
Fantastic. Might as well go straight into the cloud mining question, and I think it's on the next page. There's quite a few questions written down, guys. So thank you so much for everyone that participated in it. And basically, the question revolving around the cloud mining is that what sort of barriers are you guys going through to get the cloud mining sorted? Are we likely to see it on Android as well? And a possible release date for the cloud mining?
A possible release date is pushing it, but we are working hard on it. So real mining is handled by proof of work, and that absolutely proves that you deserve your share of the reward because you've submitted a lot of hash attempts or whatever. You're proving that you're working because you're trying to mathematically solve a problem. So the only way to truly do that on a phone is to burn it out. So what we've got a whole bunch of safeguards that we do in the background to try and find people that are emulating, and the people that are emulating are getting cleverer and cleverer and cleverer. Every time we block them out, we see some other sneaky things go on, and then we block another couple of thousand people. So what we've now done is we've tied into another app. I'm not going to name it just yet. We've tied into another app that looks at uniqueness of users, and we're creating this ability to hop from some app from another app to prove uniqueness. So by enabling that and joining it in, we will have another safeguard towards uniqueness of users. And that's all we're worried about. So we're only worried if a user is unique. So then it brought us on to thinking, well, hold on a second. Do we really mind if the user's phone is on or not on or whatever, or if they're mining in the background? Now, Apple won't let you mine in the background, full stop. Even though our mining is not mining, they won't let you run tasks in the background in a persistent state. They don't like it. And that's one of the problems that we'd had trying to get our Apple app out all this time. Everything we did to keep it in a persistent state, they would reject. And that's fair enough. They're protecting their users. Don't get me wrong. I'm not in any way having a go at Apple. They are doing a good job of protecting their users and protecting their users' devices. So we have to work in compliance with that. So then when we looked at cloud mining, we're like, well, hold on a second. Actually, what we want to do is we want to get people on that are unique. We want them to be experienced in ETN. So that's why we thought, well, actually, cloud mining is okay. And it's probably more fair for the people that we're targeting, the unbanked, who are not necessarily able to they want their phone with them and they're not able to have data all day. So actually, it's probably nicer for them to be able to be cloud mining. And what I mean by that is that the device won't actually have to be physically connected to the internet for them to be getting a reward.
Oh, okay.
So we've developed this whole system called cloud mining that would enable people to log in, start cloud mining, and even though when their app goes out of service, they're still mining because they've registered that they want to do it. Our numbers will go up, but what's important for us is that the numbers, whilst the numbers are going up, they will not be emulators. They'll be real people because we're jumping in with these other guys on uniqueness. So I've seen it on our testnet, so it's a real thing that they've really developed. I can't say exactly how far away we are, but weeks, not months, I'd say. And that will enable us to get that out into Apple. Initially, we'd do it on Apple just to see what's happening. Then you'll find that I think that the Android people will go, well, hold on a minute, that's so much better because I don't have to physically be connected all the time. So I would imagine there's a very good chance that we'll run everything in parallel to start with. So you could do both. So you can have that on your Android as well as running it the old-fashioned way. And then my money will be on that most people would say, well, hang on a minute, if my phone disconnects for any amount of time, I don't get the benefit. So virtually everybody would jump across to that, and at which point we'd say, okay, well, let's use cloud mining instead. Funnily enough, Android are happier with that. As you've seen earlier, Google are happier with cloud mining than they are any kind of attempt to make the phone stay in a persistent state too. So we're future-proofing if we do this. And from our growth perspective, it ties in with a few different things to do with our growth as well. So can't quite cover all those yet, but once it's live, you'll understand what I mean.
So in terms of the cloud mining, because I didn't actually know that your phone doesn't have to be connected to the internet non-stop. And I think in terms of the unbanked sector, in those places where you're not going to get a cell reception, I sound American. a phone reception, you're not always going to get signal in those places.
No, that's right.
Which is why that cloud mining service is going to serve so well.
Yeah, and they're fiercely protective of their data as well. Because, funnily enough, the data is actually cheaper than it is here. I mean, in most of the countries, mostly because the operators can't sell. They could never sell data at the same price they can in America and the UK. Data is pretty cheap. In India, you can buy a gig of data for 50p, which is better than it is in the UK. But they're still fiercely protective of that data. So actually, they quite often the data will be switched off, and then switched on to make use of something, and then switched back off again. So this will definitely we've spoken to people, we've got people on the ground that we're talking to, and it will definitely serve them much better. So yeah, the concept would be that they log in, they click start cloud mining. That gives an instruction to our servers. As long as our servers are absolutely sure of the uniqueness of that person's device, we've got push notifications coming in our app as well, so we can do push notifications if there's a requirement for them to do something else. So we may need to periodically say, oh, you need to do something else to prove your uniqueness. But it'll be far less often than dropping in and out. So perhaps every couple of days it might go, oh, hold on a minute, could you do this or could you do that? So from what we're serving, that bit's not fully set in stone yet, but from the people that we're serving, this will be a growth opportunity. It won't be something that pulls us back, it'll push us out.
Fantastic. So that was part 3, guys. I really hoped you enjoyed it. talking about cloud mining, how it's all going to work, how you're going to have to prove your uniqueness. Really important stuff. If you haven't already, go check out part two and part one as well. There's some really good information on show here, guys. I know that there's a lot of people that viewed the part one. Maybe they didn't think the information was as important, but with every part comes new information, so make sure you guys are checking out each part. A lot of effort's been put in to get this content out to you guys, so I'd appreciate it. Everybody sharing the video around, etc. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the AllAboutTech YouTube channel, and I will catch you guys out in the next video. Peace out.